Greetings, welcome to another day of Autoforge development. Got a nice, good chunk of work done. We decided to tackle scenes in the scene manager and kind of just try to figure a solution out for that. So the objective or the problem we were trying to solve is that we wanted to be able to have some sort of like game loop happening inside of Lua, but have it be nicely structured where we're not just calling into Lua and have that set up everything for the entire game, because then that kind of like spider webs out of control and you end up including or requiring every single script in the entire project. So I wanted to try to come up with a solution where we only require the things that we need at that point. So I was thinking about scenes and also just trying to manage those. A scene is a little like chunk of code that handles the events and updates and like whenever I say events, I mean like input. That's like the biggest one, I think, is like, keyboard and mouse, joystick, etc. Handle those events as well as the updates and just try to like have everything be encapsulated there rather than it kind of branching out where we say, oh, if we're currently doing gameplay stuff, then do this thing. Or if we're currently in the main menu, then go do this. So we'll have a scene for those individual things. So we'll say, okay, our main menu is responsible for this logic, and our gameplay is responsible for this, etc. And we can transition between the scenes nicely. And so I kind of go over that here. And in order to do this, I decided that I was going to have some like scene manager that accepts just a Lua module name, and it will load it up for us and do everything we need. So what ends up happening is that we have a scene that looks like this, where we can say it's a gameplay and it has all this stuff. It can, be activated. We also have like a deactivate function we could add in, and you can update it. It can also handle like the mouse button down, and just add in whatever logic it wants. So I kind of moved over all of the stuff that we had in our main script into here. So we create a new world, we add a realm to that world, we then, create a pudding inside of that world. We also add in our UI. And then on the C++ side of things, we have, let me pull that up here, our scene, where we can just load a scene or load, and all that we'll do is just take, this is the meat of it, takes the scene module path, requires it, and kind of sets it up as being the main thing. It actually creates a new instance, which is neat that all it does is it requires this, and we return here the gameplay, which is this like scene that we want to be created. So it has a new function. And then what we end up getting is something that looks exactly like what we had before. But it's a huge improvement because now we're able to load up the scene or have some other scene loaded, and in our main script, we now have a start scene setting where we can define exactly what scene we want to be starting in the game. Like it defaults to a splash scene, but in our setting file, we actually have it currently set to gameplay. So this is neat, so we can actually, change where we want to set it at any time, and then eventually we'll also have some data being passed to it. And so that might be, maybe if we want to like quickly load up the game, we could say, hey, load up this file in the gameplay, like load up our little test world, and it would, nicely handle that. So huge improvement overall, big step forward, and I think we're getting close to having like we're definitely getting closer to gameplay stuff. We now have this gameplay loop all set up in Lua, so excited to see where we go from here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.